Tracking, alerting, protecting. This is WKYT This Morning.
Now at 5:30, a community will gather later this morning to say goodbye to a fallen firefighter.
Also on WKYT This Morning, a former police officer is in jail accused of violently attacking several people, including his own wife.
And how some local businesses are reaching out to help a man critically injured in a crash. These stories and breaking news as it happens coming up on WKYT This Morning.
Hello there, good morning and welcome. It's so good to have you with us on WKYT This Morning as we get Wednesday Hump Day off and rolling. I'm Bill Bryant.
And I'm Rebecca Smith. Thanks for being here. It's really turning out to be a nice day.
Oh, we've had some great days and we have more to enjoy. Lucky us. Let's check in with meteorologist Micah Harris in our First Alert Weather Center.
Yeah, it's been a really nice stretch, and look, that's going to continue throughout the next several days. We head toward the weekend. We'll start to get some clouds in here later on during the weekend and maybe even a chance of rain. But until then, this is what you're looking at. Beautiful start to the morning. Temperatures are in the 40s and 50s. It's another good start, but it's still another cool feel outside this morning. And only one more morning that we're in the 40s, so just bear with it and we'll get through this. But we are starting to see those temperatures increase the next several days. 76 today. And we haven't seen that in about a week now. So we're going to continue to slide toward the 80s. 80s are in the forecast, and I'll show you when that falls coming up in just a few minutes.
All right, we'll see you in a few. And new on WKYT News this morning, an investigation is underway after a fire at a vacant gas station in Lincoln County.
It happened at the Old Leach's Shell Mart along US 27. The Interior Journal reports that witnesses told police they heard a loud popping noise and saw a white truck leave the scene shortly before the fire began. The Interior Journal also reports that arson investigators were already looking into several illegal burns at that same gas station. They'll now be looking into the cause of this one as well. Also new this morning, Lexington police arrested a woman accused of stabbing a man. It happened on Wem Drive just before 1 this morning. Police say the couple were staying at a friend's house when they got into an argument. And that's when police say Jacqueline McColgan stabbed her boyfriend in the torso with a knife. He was taken to UK hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. McColgan was arrested and charged with assault.
The owners of a bar that was damaged in a hit and run over the weekend are teaming up with other local businesses to try and raise money for the victim.
Police say Jared McCargo ran over several people outside the beer trap in Chevy Chase Friday night. WKYT's Victor Puente is live this morning with more on what they'll be doing for the victim.
The man injured in that hit and run is still in critical condition in UK hospital. The business where that crash happened is now raising money to help pay for his recovery. Noel Espino was one of several people outside of the beer trap Friday night when a driver backed their SUV into the front of the building. Espino was critically injured and the driver sped away. Lexington police arrested Jared McCargo about 40 minutes later. They say he admitted to hitting the building, then driving home. He's charged with DUI, assault, leaving the scene of an accident, and driving without insurance. Since the crash, patrons at the beer trap have been putting money in a jar for Espino. Today, a full-fledged fundraiser will take place with $1 from every beer going to him.
Noel has a long road to recovery, and it's important for the beer trap, the Chevy Chase neighborhood, and Lexington in general to rally around and show him that he's not alone.
At the time of the crash, Jared McCargo was a Lexington firefighter, but the city fired him on Monday. Live in Lexington, Victor Puente, WKYT.
Well, according to our news partners at the Herald Leader, McCargo is also wanted on a DUI charge out of Cobb City, I should say, Georgia. That warrant was issued in June of 2002 and is still active. Today, family and friends and a community will say a final farewell to a fallen firefighter. Tony Grider died Saturday from injuries he suffered while helping out with an ice bucket challenge. WKYT's Whitney Wetzel's joining us at the live desk with more on how the Campbellsville firefighter is being remembered.
Good morning, everyone. Campbellsville Fire Captain Tony Grider died Saturday from injuries that he suffered while helping with an ice bucket challenge. His funeral service is scheduled for later today. Last month, Grider and fellow firefighter Alex Quinn were both in the ladder bucket of a fire truck when an electrical current from nearby power lines struck them. Quinn was released from a Louisville hospital last week. Yesterday, firefighters from across the country traveled to Adair County to attend Grider's visitation. Fire crews from Lexington and as far as Washington, D.C. are coming together to honor the fallen firefighter. Grider's funeral service will start at noon today at Columbia Christian Church. At the live desk, Whitney Wetzel, back to you.
Whitney, thank you. 5:34 now on WKYT this morning. The parents of a 13-year-old boy say negligence and unsafe conditions is what caused their son's death at a Transylvania University indoor pool.
It happened on June 23rd when Ricky Harris was attending an academic summer camp. The family's attorney says Harris was unresponsive at the bottom of the pool for more than 10 minutes unnoticed. Now the teen's parents are moving forward with a civil lawsuit against the university, a camp counselor, and 2 lifeguards, saying someone should be held accountable for their son's death. The family and their attorney think that if Kentucky had a negligent homicide statute, situations like this would be looked at differently.
Don't just brush this aside. Terrible accident, and not learn from it and do something about it.
Right now, attorneys are having experts review the lifeguard certification and training, as well as the pool setup. The university's only comment is that thoughts and prayers are with the Harris family. A former Berea and Mount Vernon police officers behind bars this morning accused of attacking 2 disabled adults and his wife. Brian Doan turned himself in yesterday. Somerset police say the adults were attacked at a home on Kentucky 3091 while under Doan's care. The home is operated by Star Support Services. Court records list Doan as the program's director. Police tell us the victims were hurt pretty bad.
Substantial injury, enough to warrant the victim being transported to UK Hospital for further treatment, where he remains at this time.
Police say Doan forced his way into his estranged wife's home yesterday, grabbed her by the face and left. She received an emergency protective order against him last Friday. A financial consultant accused of stealing more than $1 million from one client went before a judge. Kenneth Thomas's attorney entered a not guilty plea on his behalf. Police say Thomas founded Retire America. We're told he sold fake bonds to the victim. Lexington police say there could be more charges as investigators dig deeper into the case.
Community members had a chance to learn more about a major road project that's underway. The Kentucky Transportation Cabinet held a meeting about the expansion of the Mountain Parkway in Wolfe County. The state wants to expand the 30 miles between Campton and Prestonsburg from 2 lanes to 4.
We want to improve the ability to transport goods and services, as well as enable the people of eastern Kentucky to transport themselves back and forth between Pikeville and Lexington.
The expansion will cost more than $700 million. It could take 6 to 10 years to complete. Let's check traffic this morning, see how things are moving along on the roads that already exist. 5:37 is our time this morning, and let's see what's happening out there in Nicholasville and Alumni. You're looking good. Traffic starting to pick up, and that's the case throughout the city this morning. I want to remind you just again of that situation down in Chevy Chase. If you're moving through that neck of the woods, there where Euclid Avenue, Fontaine Road, and Tates Creek come together, they're removing a traffic island in there, and that's going to be a project that will take a couple of days, and that certainly could bottle up there. No reports of any problems.
Yeah, looks pretty good.
Officer Don will be along in a few minutes and get us updated, and we're glad you're along. And there's more WKYT this morning on your Wednesday on the way.
A couple of Oregon police officers went above and beyond and proved they're willing to serve in any situation. We'll tell you what they did after the break.
And we're looking outside, 40s and 50s by the afternoon, mid-70s. We're getting warmer and warmer each and every day. We head toward the 80s this weekend, but that usually means some rain. And I'll break down that weekend forecast for you. Coming up.
Now, your hour-by-hour forecast with meteorologist Micah Harris and First Alert Defender.
A look across our region this morning is the same look we've seen the past couple of mornings. It's cool, it's dry, and it's clear outside. And you're seeing 46 degrees there in Frankfort. That goes for Richmond and around the Bluegrass region. We're there in the upper 40s. Go up north, go down south, actually the 50s. And we'll be a little bit warmer in the north and south as we go throughout the day. And look, the roadways look good. No fog issues whatsoever. Clear and cool is what we'll call it this morning. Heading in by 9 a.m., still a lot of sunshine, so I don't see many issues there on the roadways. Let's check out the airways, and things look good. Look, anywhere around the Ohio River Valley, Tennessee Valley, it doesn't matter where you go, Appalachians, things look really nice. So no delays whatsoever. Go across the eastern seaboard, no delays, but you do have a lot of rain over toward that region. So if you're heading that way, just keep in mind, We're going to run into a little rain over there. Not around here, though. Looks beautiful. Let's go through the next 24 hours. You see mid-70s by the afternoon. Some of us will be a little bit higher than 76 degrees, so we are getting warmer and warmer each and every day. Going toward the evening, it'll be fantastic. If you're one of those that likes to take a nice little walk or run during the evening hours as opposed to the morning, it's not a bad idea. Once the sun sets, it'll still feel really nice because we're actually getting that warming trend continuing all the way through the weekend. Check out Saturday, 80 degrees. See any rain on there? No, absolutely not. So things will be dry on Saturday. Tailgating, you'll have plenty of sunshine, and I do think it'll be pretty warm at times, especially since we've been dealing with the upper 60s, lower 70s for highs. So the feeling will be warm this weekend, and heading in towards Sunday, we'll add a little bit of a rain chance. That's what's going to drop our temperatures just a bit. But all in all, football games look good. 5Ks look phenomenal. Anything going on, no issues whatsoever the next few days. See that warming trend? 79 there on Friday. That means kickoff is going to be right around 75 degrees. And once that sun sets, nothing like the past couple of Fridays where once the sun sets a little bit cool outside. I think it'll be more mild than anything else. We'll actually add in some moisture into that too, so you won't feel that chill in the air. Might want to take a long sleeve shirt if you're one of those. Gets a little cool, but the UK game looks phenomenal. Vandy, I told you yesterday, and I'm going to do it again today and all the way until, well, we win. I'm guaranteeing a win versus Vandy there on Saturday evening. Looks good there for the forecast. We're going to knock them dead there on Saturday. Sunday, that's when rain chance comes in. Look, we haven't seen a rain chance in about a week now. And I mean even a chance. It's been beautiful weather, and it looks like we're going to have that there on Sunday. Only small chances, but it's a system to the south of us. And those systems to the south are really tricky. We'll have to wait and see where the actual track takes it. But as of right now, it'll at least give us a chance heading in toward the start of next week.
Okay, but a great stretch of weather to enjoy before that.
Looks great. Love it.
Awesome.
Thank you. It's 5:44 right now on WKYT. 2 Portland, Oregon police officers proved that they're willing to serve in any situation when they delivered a pizza earlier in the month.
Portland police said a Pizza Hut delivery driver was involved in a crash earlier this month, so the 2 officers finished the delivery for him. The driver was hurt but is doing okay now. When the officers arrived at the home of the customer, he wanted to recognize the officers for going out of their way. Pretty cool.
Obviously took the pic and has gotten them some publicity. So
better late than never, right?
Right. Beyond the call of duty.
Yeah. Coming up, you'll get the stories making news at this hour.
Also, we're checking traffic again, see how things are moving along. What's hot on the web and social media, some health news and more. It's coming up on WKYT This Morning. Good morning. Welcome back in. WKYT This Morning on the air at 5:48.
We're taking a look now at some of the stories we're working on at this hour.
The owners of a bar that was damaged in a hit and run over the weekend in Lexington are teaming up with other local businesses to raise money for the victim. Police say Jared McCargo ran over several people outside the beer trap in Chevy Chase on Friday night. Tonight, the bar will be donating $1 of every pint to Noel Espino and his family. Espino, the one who was most injured in that. West 6th Brewery and the Athenian Grill will match the donations. Rooster Brewing Company in Paris will also be holding a similar fundraiser for Espino.
It's a final farewell for a fallen firefighter. Today, first responders from around the country will come together to honor a man who died after an accident during an ALS Ice Bucket Challenge. Campbellsville Fire Captain Tony Grider died Saturday from injuries he suffered while helping out with the challenge. Funeral services for him will be held today at noon at Columbia Christian Church.
And an investigation is underway after a fire at a vacant gas station in Lincoln County. It happened at the old Leach's Shell Mart along US 27. The Interior Journal reporting that witnesses told police they heard a loud popping noise and saw a white truck leave the scene shortly before the fire started. The Interior Journal also says that arson investigators are already looking into several illegal burns that have happened at that same gas station. They'll now be looking into the cause of this one as well.
President Barack Obama will take center stage at the United Nations today. He'll be addressing global concerns during a General Assembly speech.
Marley Hall is at the UN and reports that the president will also chair a special Security Council meeting aimed at stopping foreign fighters from joining groups like ISIS.
President Obama will stand before more than 140 heads of state and government at the United Nations today and address global issues. At the top of the list, ISIS. The U.S., along with Arab allies, began launching airstrikes against ISIS targets inside Syria Monday night. The first strikes in a sustained campaign to defeat the terror group. Yesterday, the president met with representatives from the 5 nations who participated.
I think we now have an opportunity to send a very clear message that the world is united.
Airstrikes targeted ISIS communication, training, and supply centers.
They will adapt to what we've done and seek to address their shortfalls and gaps against our air campaign in the coming weeks.
President Obama will also chair a Security Council meeting here at the UN today. Members are expected to adopt a resolution that would require countries to pass laws to try to prevent their citizens from joining terrorist groups.
The threat of foreign terrorist fighters is very real, and we have to start with the uncomfortable reality that security measures alone will not solve this problem.
The National Counterterrorism Center estimates 15,000 foreign fighters have traveled to the Middle East to join groups like ISIS. Marley Hall, CBS News, New York.
And U.S. airstrikes in Syria also targeted a second terrorist group called Khorasan. Officials say that group may have been trying to recruit Westerners to carry out attacks against Western countries. Police in Virginia are searching for a Charlottesville man in connection to the disappearance of a missing University of Virginia student. 18-year-old Hannah Graham disappeared 2 weekends ago from the city's downtown mall area. Police have obtained an arrest warrant charging 32-year-old Jesse Leroy Matthew Jr. with her abduction. Matthew was last seen Saturday when he stopped by a police station with his mother and an uncle to ask for a lawyer. Police say he sped away, losing officers who had him under surveillance.
More crews are being sent in to try and contain a massive wildfire that's threatening thousands of homes in Northern California. The fire began on September 13th and spread across more than 100 square miles east of Sacramento. Officials are expecting high winds and hotter temperatures, which may hinder progress. Well, topping your health headlines this morning, the percentage of U.S. adults diagnosed with type 1 and type 2 diabetes has leveled off in recent years.
That's according to researchers for the CDC who looked at data on almost 665,000 people. They speculate that diabetes rates are slowing as obesity rates slow down. Still, their findings show that diabetes rates continue to rise among Hispanics and blacks. A new study from California researchers is suggesting that pregnant women are not receiving enough genetic counseling. They looked at over 700 pregnant women. Half took part in a computer lesson about Down syndrome and other chromosome abnormalities. They also learned about the risks and benefits of amniocentesis, and they were offered the test for free. Researchers found when women were informed, fewer opted for the test.
New research shows the timing between a teenager's first drink and the first experience at getting drunk is a risk factor for binge drinking. Previous studies have shown that teens who drink early on are at an increased risk of developing heavy drinking habits later on. Now, researchers at Yale and Arizona State University found that the timing between having that first drink and then drinking to intoxication is also a risk factor. 5:53 is the time. Let's get a check at this hour on today's traffic trouble spots with a look at some live drive traffic. Things moving along pretty good at Harrodsburg and Pasadena. Keep in mind, if you're in the Chevy Chase area, there's some construction work down there, so you could experience some heavy congestion. That's supposed to last until tomorrow. Now it's time to check what's making news online this morning. Bill joins us with that.
Yeah, it's 5:54, and we have all the latest for you at WKYT.com. Trending right now is that lawsuit filed by the family of a 13-year-old who drowned while swimming at Transylvania University back in the summer. A lot of you are also checking out our story about a suspect being shot during a holdup at a Winchester truck stop. The alleged accomplice talked with us and says he was just there for breakfast. Our terrific string of beautiful weather is continuing. Micah says we'll have more sunshine today. Enjoy that. Highs climbing into the mid-70s. We'll be heading for the 80s going into the weekend, but that's ahead of some changes next week. Check our First Alert weather page for all the latest updates. We have details about a traffic alert in Lexington. The city is removing a traffic island in the area where Euclid, Fontaine, Hurricane and Tate's Creek come together there in Chevy Chase, and that's slated to last a couple of days. Kentucky.com reports that a state Senate candidate is asking for an apology or explanation from Lexington Mayor Jim Gray. Ralph Alvarado, who's a Republican, is hoping to become the first Latino elected to the General Assembly. Gray was complimentary, though, of Democratic incumbent R.J. Palmer while speaking at a Latino festival last weekend. And also, a headline this morning, it's kind of interesting when it comes to confronting Islamic militants. Mitch McConnell is Obama's Kentucky candidate. That article pointing to the senator's support for the president's current strategy. And CBS This Morning will be following us at 7 with world and national news and, of course, our local updates. Join us on Facebook or follow us on Twitter. And for the latest news anytime, WKYT.com. A beautiful start to the day. Micah?
That's exactly right. Roadways look pretty good. Haven't heard of any issues whatsoever. If you're heading out to Bluegrass Airport, no delays, no cancellations. So all is well. Airways, roadways. Looks pretty good. Live sky camera, there's your shot. And things are crystal clear outside this morning. You can see every single star up there in the sky. And that typically indicates, you know, some cool conditions this time of year. We talked about it yesterday. When you go into fall and you have clear skies, it usually means that dry air is filtered in and also some cooler air has come along with it. And you're feeling that outside. 45 there at Mount Sterling. Not a bad reading there in Lexington at 52 degrees. We're at 43 in Danville, Springfield. Work your way into Harrisburg, Lawrenceburg, and all the way up toward my friends in Mount Olivet and Maysville. We're doing all right this morning. Down towards the south, London, Corbin, and Williamsburg. Somerset, right around 50 degrees. So it is cool, but it's not that chilly. As we go throughout the next several days, we'll continue to see those temperatures rise and rise each and every day. 76 this afternoon, and look at it. Mostly sunny skies, just a broken record forecast. It just keeps spinning and spinning and spinning all the way toward the weekend. Weekend is actually warmer than this, and we may even get rid of that 7 and put maybe an 8 off into the front. That usually means one thing when you get warmer, a little rain. And I'll show you that forecast coming up. Another hour, lucky you, on WKYT News comes up just a couple of minutes. Let's take a live look outside. There's the lights of Hamburg. Beautiful start to the morning. We'll be back here in about 2 minutes.